Good day, good people. The government has announced that from tomorrow, Saturday the 13th of June, churches can open for individual prayer. To enable this, we now have the means to undertake a risk assessment and to put measures in place to ensure that we maintain social distancing and prevent the risk of transmission of the coronavirus that has dominated our lives since the middle of March. I'm keen to know how many people would like to take up this opportunity, so I'd be very grateful if you could contact me or one of the church wardens either by telephone or email and let us know if you would like to visit the church to pray. The stipulation is that people should pray alone or in their household groups, and we envisage that there would be 2 volunteers present at the church to help maintain the requirements of opening. If there are a number of people who would like to do this, we will create specific opportunities during the week when people can come. Whereas if it turns out that only a small number want to visit, then we would most likely create bespoke visits. What we're not allowed to do is to hold a service or lead prayers publicly. But I recognise that many people might want simply to connect with the church building by sitting in the space and experiencing the peace that this brings. And I'm very keen to foster and enable that to happen. If people let us know that they would like it, I envisage that we would begin in the week beginning the 21st of June. The National Church has also published guidance for the conduct of funerals in church, also from this weekend, and guidelines for other services are in the pipeline, including Holy Communion. My hunch is that a service like this might be possible from Sunday the 5th of July onwards, and I imagine, looking at the draft guidelines, that it would not be our principal act of Sunday worship. We would most likely keep our online provision of a recorded service streamed on our Facebook page and YouTube channel every Sunday morning at 10 o'clock, and then our Zoom service of evening prayer on Sundays at 5 o'clock. And then whatever kind of communion service is permitted would take place on a different day. Again, it would be very helpful to know whether people will want to take advantage of this once it is possible. I have an idea that we might devise a pattern of services in the church with all the necessary concessions of infection control taking place at different times during the week, possibly a lunchtime and or an evening, and even, if there's a demand for it, a morning. My aim is to enable people to share in the communal worship of our church as best we can, as a way of signifying our common life round the altar, even if we cannot all gather together at the same time. Again, please let me, or Brian or Elizabeth know by telephone or email if you know what you might prefer. I expect we'll also set up an online questionnaire for those who use the internet. But please don't hesitate to get in touch if you'd like to express an opinion or a wish. Meanwhile, as you know, we are preparing to welcome Yvette Daniel as our curate. The bishop announced this week that the ordinations will not take place until October at the earliest, and therefore Yvette will start her ministry amongst us as a licensed lay worker. She'll be licensed in a Zoom service on Saturday the 4th of July, and her first service amongst us will be the streamed service on Sunday the 5th, and the Zoom service that same evening. Please pray for her and for Marco as they prepare to move from Birmingham. I'll keep you posted about that because I know members of the congregation will want to send them greetings and perhaps make offers of food and treats to welcome them. I mentioned last week that the High Heaton and Manor Park COVID-19 mutual aid group are organising a distribution of a new leaflet in the community and that will take place this coming Saturday, the 13th of June. We have agreed to provide 2 tables on our field with gazebos, and piles of leaflets with maps for distribution will be available between 9 o'clock in the morning and noon. They need volunteers to help with deliveries, so please consider whether you could join in with this. I'm pleased that we are associated with this community initiative, and I know that our contribution is valued. So I hope that as many church members can help as possible. The leaflet includes us as a partner in this important part of community action. Another example of our community engagement is our clothing recycling bank on the corner of Melville Grove and Cleveland Gardens. And the Salvation Army has been able to restart picking up items that are left there. So please begin to use it again and let other people know that it is available. A lot of people have been sorting out cupboards and lofts and drawers during the lockdown, so there are probably lots of old clothes ready for recycling. And one final bit of news this week is that our eco group have been thinking about developing the patch of land at the southeast corner of the church underneath the cherry tree. And the idea is to create a sanctuary garden with plantings of box hedging and small square beds to match the shape of the pattern of the windows in the south wall of the sanctuary. This summer there will be some preparatory work, including weed suppression, ready for design and planting next spring. Do contact Catherine or Marion or Brian if you'd like to help. We're hoping to include some preliminary ideas for the design in a future bulletin and on the parish website. What delights me is the sense of forward planning and preparation that is afoot in our church, and I hope that in spite of the continuing frustration of social distancing and the uncertainty that the virus has created, you share with me a sense of confidence and hope for the future.